available, and advanced. As a result of which, technology is changing the very shape of the world that we are all living in. We are able to now imagine new solutions for existing problems or the new problems that we are going to face. 3D printing, robotics, IoT devices, miniaturized electronics, augmented virtual reality, sensor technologies, cloud services, artificial intelligence. These are all becoming available to young students in schools, in universities, and across the country. That is why you just now saw a few moments ago the young student showing that innovation using sensor technologies being able to help differently abled people. Technology can be used for solving a tremendous number of problems. And therein lies the unique opportunity that all of us have to be able to use the demographic dividend, to be able to use this fast growing economy, and to be able to use affordable, accessible, and available technology to be able to come up with new solutions, new innovations that will solve not only our problems, but the problems of the country and the problems of the rest of the world. And this is why the Atal Innovation Mission has been formed, among various other initiatives that the government has launched. The Atal Innovation Mission, as you may be aware, is to create that ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship that will enable our young minds across the country to become potential job creators, the potential innovators. We will not be just a country with job seekers. We can become the world's largest country of job creators because we have that talent which is inherent in us, that was visible in some of the innovations that you just saw. And therefore, the Atal Innovation Mission has launched in a holistic manner to be able to create this ecosystem of entrepreneurship and ecosystem of livelihood creation across the country through many initiatives at the school level, at the university level, at the district and the community level, and at a state level and at a national level. At the school level, the Atal Innovation Mission has launched thousands of Atal Tinkering Labs. We are very happy to note that in Jammu and Kashmir, we have 150 schools which have been selected for Atal Tinkering Labs, out of which 82 are already operational. Now, these tinkering labs are dedicated innovation workspaces in schools where the latest of technologies like 3D printers, robotics, IoT devices, miniaturized electronics, and augmented virtual reality is made available through do-it-yourself kits to the young students. The young students get inducted into problem solving and innovative thinking. That is the first step towards becoming an entrepreneur, towards becoming a job creator, towards becoming a transformer of your region or of the country. And therefore, when such technology is made available and training on that and design thinking and 21st century skills are inculcated in our young school students between grade 6 to grade 12, you are setting the platform, you are setting the basis, you are sowing the seeds of an innovative entrepreneurial region and innovative entrepreneurial people. We have established over 7,000 Atal Tinkering Labs across the country, and over 3.5 million students are now creating innovations, prototype of innovations for problems they see in and around the community. Now, this gives a tremendous opportunity for spurring grassroots innovations that we are talking about as the students grow up, understand what it means to be an innovator, and when they move into the universities, they are made available world-class incubators which will foster world-class startups. We are very happy to note that JKEDI has been selected as an Atal incubator, and they already have 17 startups operational since it was opened. We want to have thousands of startups, world-class startups in India. And why? What is a startup? A startup is any enterprise which is able to leverage technology and new thinking into solving the problems that you face on a daily basis. It could be an agri-tech problem. It could be how can I increase farmer productivity? How can I increase farm productivity? How do I reutilize resources? How do I build a circular economy? How do I create tribal handicraft and be able to sell this across the nation or across the world? How do we ensure that from Jammu to Japan, you are able to sell your product? From Srinagar to San Francisco or to Seattle, your products are able to reach. That is possible because of digital transformation and digital technology. Now, we have set up more than 70 world-class incubators today. More than 1,600 startups are operational, out of which 500 are women-led startups. Now, that is another important point as we look at grassroots innovations and livelihood creation. We have to ensure equal opportunity for the women folk, for the girl child to become potential entrepreneurs, to become potential innovators of the future. Technology has removed all barriers in being able to enable young children, whether they are a boy or a girl, whether they are differently abled or not, whether they come from a coastal district or a hilly district, or whether they come from a tier 1, tier 2 city. Technology, because of its reach, its affordability, its accessibility, and its availability, is breaking down all the barriers to innovation, to skill development, and to entrepreneurship. And therefore, it makes tremendous sense for the Gyan event that is happening right now, the training for innovation, incubation, and being able to inculcate a sense of entrepreneurship in every one of the youth of J&K, as well as from the rest of the country. Now, in order to spur the benefit of innovation across not just to the tier 1 cities like Delhi, Bombay, Madras, Calcutta, and so on, but to tier 2, tier 3 cities and to rural India, it is very important to have community innovation centers. These community innovation centers are being established by Atal Innovation Mission across the country so that you are able to spur innovation that communities need. If you are, for example, in Goa, how do you ensure that the community of tourism, the community of the fishing or the fishing industry, the tourism industry, the cashew nut industry, the mining industry, or the shipbuilding industry gets focused? How do you create innovations and local job creation? That is the opportunity that is there when you establish a community innovation center. It is my hope that every district of our country, the 715 districts that we are talking about, and every district of Jammu and Kashmir will have a community innovation center. That community innovation center becomes the place where you are able to encourage grassroots innovation. You are able to build skills relevant to technologies that are needed to implement this innovation, and you are able to spur local job creation. By doing that, you are also enabling products which you are developing or services that you are developing in the district to be made accessible to people and places and products around the world. We are also launching what are known as Atal New India Challenges. Now, when you are spurring grassroots innovation, it is very important to launch challenges to address the problems that you see in and around that community. So the incubation centers that are being set up in Jammu and Kashmir and the community innovation centers that would be set up in J&K should spur challenges, should launch challenges so that the micro, small, medium enterprises, the small startups, the small companies are able to identify solutions and create solutions which can then be supported to become large companies. Now, therefore, other new India challenges have been launched across the country in association with the ministries and in association with the local industry to be able to address those challenges which can create products which will have national impact or state level impact or regional impact. We have already launched more than 52 challenges along with ministries across for both ARISE, what we call as ARISE challenges, Applied Research and Innovation for Small Enterprises, and ANIC challenges, Atal New India challenges for larger solutions at a national level. Now, all of these can only work if we have industry, academia, government, and the local interfaces working together, private sector working together in order to bring the benefit of mentorship, bring the benefit of collaboration to make these innovations successful and the startups and the enterprises successful. Grassroots innovation will succeed when local industries or local companies who are there in every region are able to immediately utilize and use the products and the innovations being created and spread the use across multiple communities. We don't need to reinvent the wheel every time. That is an unfortunate part of many innovations. Somebody innovates in a particular region, but other regions are not aware of that particular innovation. They start reinventing the wheel. Once you have a structured process of community innovation and incubation, you are able to speedily spread the implementation of those innovations across the length and breadth of the region or across the country. It is very important, therefore, in a gathering like this, to see how people, professionals who have the knowledge from academia, from industry, or from the government become mentors to the startups, to the grassroots innovators, to the young students in the Atal Tinkering Labs who are going to be the future innovators of J&K. And therefore, building a strong mentorship network is very, very important. Towards this end, Atal Innovation Mission has already launched one of the largest mentoring networks in India called Mentors of Change. And these Mentors of Change, we have more than 10,000 mentors who have registered as voluntary mentors in the network. And we would be very glad to extend these mentors because of the virtual capability by which you can now mentor everybody to be able to be available to the J&K innovators, grassroots innovators, or other innovators and startup organizations. I do think there is a tremendous opportunity for J&K youth to become the innovators and the transformers of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat relies on 5 pillars, which I just want to conclude with. And these 5 pillars are all driven by innovation and entrepreneurship. First is the pillar of demographic dividend. So if you want to leverage this demographic dividend, you need to make available education, skill development to every young student in the region. Now, this is possible because of edtech startups, because of distance education, because of distance learning, because of technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, because of satellite communication. We should see how we can use all of these technologies to ensure that skill development, education, and innovation, entrepreneurial skills are built into everyone. The second pillar is a pillar of infrastructure. We need to ensure smart infrastructure, and to create smart infrastructure, you need entrepreneurs, you need startups, you need innovators who will create that smart infrastructure, smart districts, smart villages, smart electricity management, smart water management, affordable housing. These are all very important aspects of creating that smart infrastructure. And that smart infrastructure has to be coupled with digital infrastructure so that you're able to reach the power of innovation to the remotest parts of the world. The third is the pillar of demand. We have tremendous demand, not only in J&K, whether you take agri-tech industry, healthcare, education, hygiene, whether you take waste management, whether you take commercial products, tribal products, e-commerce, we have tremendous demand because we are 1.3 billion people in our country. So the entrepreneurs and the grassroots innovators in J&K can address not just the needs of J&K, but the needs of India and thereby the needs of the world. The fourth is the pillar of socio-economic progress. We should ensure that social innovation and social incubators are encouraged as much as commercially driven or economically driven incubators or and startups. If we don't bridge the social divide, the digital divide, the divide between the haves and the have-nots, if we do not bridge the economic divide created by technology or by any other reason, we will not be able to progress in the region or in the country. So we need to have social innovation, social entrepreneurs, as much as we need to have commercially driven and economically driven startups and entrepreneurs. And finally, the pillar of technology. This is a unique time in the history of the world where technology can serve to the advantage of the common man. And we should ensure that the knowledge of technology, the application of technology, and the reach of technology is leveraged by everyone, every university, every school in the country. With this, we will all be able to realize the dreams of the nation, the dreams of its people, the dreams of a region, and we will become one of the most innovative nations in the world. We have already progressed significantly in the last 5 years from a position of 81 to a position of 48 in the Global Innovation Index. It is my personal belief and conviction that India has the wherewithal, the ability, the talent, and the innovative quotient to rise to be among the top 10 most innovative nations of the world within the next 10 years. I am very happy to have been part of this deliberation and this discussion today. I thank you for the opportunity for sharing a few thoughts on this occasion, and I look forward to working with your region, with your universities, with your schools through Atal Innovation Mission, the Niti Aayog, to be able to bring the benefit of innovation and the benefit of job creation and job creators to the region in multifold capability. Thank you so much. All the very best. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much for your inspiring words.
Thank you, Ramanji, and it was very enlightening lecture to us, and we required this mentoring from your office and you in particular. We are enlightened to reach a new era and progress on the path we've shown to Atmanirbhar Bharat and all those 4 and 5 pillars we have discussed. While mentoring from people like you who have already driven us from 87 to 41 position for innovation and progress, and you have taken a lofty target of making us 10 more than 10 leading innovative countries, and we assure the type of people we have enrolled in the colleges and secondary supporting them with mentors. We definitely have something to add on to your vision, and we are part of the wagon which will be driving for leading us in the world Vishwakarma like position. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
May I now invite Mr. G.M. Dar, Director, JKEDI, to kindly address the gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, Mr. Dar has no need for any introduction because beautifully he's been introduced by our esteemed chief guest. So without wasting any time, so over to you, sir.
Esteemed chief guest of this occasion, the Commissioner Secretary of Higher Education, J&K Government, Director Colleges, the principals of the various institutions, other dignitaries from the academia, the people from various areas of entrepreneurship and startup industry, and all men and women sitting in this hall today. I greet you and I welcome you and pay you good afternoon. Probably we have to understand that innovations and inventions are two different aspects of the startups. The innovation is a blend of the technology and the research which is available at a particular point of time, and then to harness that available inventions for the overall welfare of society and the mankind. If we see around the globe, we see that nations have progressed by adopting very small innovations. Somewhere in Europe, the spinning wheel has given the boon of a developed nation. Somewhere a small equipment of sewing machine has given a nation pride of being at the top of the whole universe. And somewhere adoption of these innovations and then blending the technology which is already available in the world has given nations a position from lowest pedestal to be at the top of the world. We must all realize that European countries and America they were not so mighty. If we go just 20, 30 years ago, they were rather grappling in situations which are worse than ours, which we are facing nowadays. But they have come to the top of the world by making these innovations into the practicality and utilizing these innovations for the welfare of the mankind. Some of our neighboring countries, we see that they were in a situation which is not better than any of the underdeveloped countries just 10 years before. But today, they are being rated as best innovators in the whole of the universe. Let us talk of China. China is not in a race of big inventions. China has adopted smaller inventions of various countries and the technology which is available, and then adopted and taken the better things and good things from each technology. And today we see where they are. China is nowadays having a biggest fleet of the high-speed trains available with them. So this is an eye-opener and an occasion to think on these lines. Innovations does not require very huge infrastructure and very huge investments. Smaller things can make our lives very easy and very comfortable. The small bottle of water in front of you, if you go to any of your assignments during the day or at any point of time, knowing that water is available everywhere, but you will always like to keep a small bottle with you, a bottled water with you, only because of the thing that it has come as an innovation, which is acceptable to everybody, which is affordable to everybody. So keeping these principles in mind, I suppose today's this event of on this front of innovations and incubations is the most opportune time, and we have to harness out of this occasion which has been provided by the esteemed chief guest, the Commissioner Secretary of the Higher Education, and we must be all thankful to him that he has given us a chance to be on this platform and to discuss this issue. When we see towards the JK Entrepreneurship Development Institute, it is a very young institute which has been just established just before 10 or 11 years. And as on today, when we speak of JKEDI, we have established around more than 14,000 units in the J&K, either in manufacturing or in service sector or in the general trade. But in real sense, if we speak of innovations and incubators and the startups, then speaking of the normal business and the routine business will not serve the purpose. We have to come up with the solutions to the life problems, and in such an affordable way that it is acceptable and it is affordable to each and everybody. With this mission, JKEDI has taken this mission on their head, and they are going on with this mission to reach out to each and every corner of the J&K and to start and to rather scout for the people who are interested in the startups, and then to strengthen them by way of giving them support of infrastructure or then to mentor them at various stages, give them a support of financial linkages with the various people who are in the sphere of financial linkages, and at least then to have a collaboration and the collaboration with the academia and the industry which is existing in the J&K at this point of time. And with this background, I have come with this hope and a humble request to the Commissioner Secretary Higher Education that the JKEDI is there to support the Department of Higher Education to proceed in the field of entrepreneurship and to proceed in the field of startups in a big way. I will be very happy if a decision is taken by the Commission Secretary, Higher Education in this forum, that let us start a small course of 15 days classwork at JKEDI, wherein the infrastructure and the expertise is available, wherein we can bring our young startups and the young minds who are very innovative from the various corners of the J&K, who are under the guidance of the people who are here, the teachers, the principals, and all other management of the higher education, and bring them to the floor of the JKEDI, give them a feel what the startup actually means. At JKEDI, we are having one startup incubation center, one at Jammu, another at Srinagar, wherein around 100 people are under training this time in the various sectors of the this trade and commerce. Some people are doing excellently well, who have given rather new innovations, new ideas regarding conduct of the business and providing the services to the door at the doorsteps of the people. So we are providing them with an assistance of 12 lakhs per candidate, one-time grant of 12 lakhs per candidate if he has an idea which is worth to be appreciated. Then not only we stop here, we provide him a monthly honorarium of rupees 12,000 per month. And if he progresses well, then we link him with the various angel investors throughout the nation and in the J&K itself. We have been able to establish some of the angel investors in collaboration with the Startup India team of Government of India. So we'll be providing all assistance in the forum of mentoring, in the forum of then supporting the financial linkages, and all other aspects which will be, or problems which will be encountered during the process of evolution. Sir, I request you again that let us start at least by an orientation program for all the principals and the professors of the colleges who are at this moment linked with the startup policy of which is being executed under your command, and at least we can have a feel by imparting a training program or a counseling program at the degree college will not meal that heavy as it will be conducted in the JKEDI premises in Srinagar or at Jammu, because appeal will come. Appeal will to the participants will come that what actually the startup policy means, what actually is the real transformational potential of the startup policy of India and startup policy of J&K, which has been announced in the year 2018. While pursuing this startup policy, we will be tying up around 5,000 people with this policy and giving them financial and all mentoring during the process of evolution. Not only this, we will be rather picking up some of the people who are really excellent in their areas and are having the areas which are worth to be pursued for further support at the national level, and will support them at every point of time so that their dream is at least it precipitates down to the reality. With this word, sir, I have come only with this purpose. I know that the people whom I am addressing are having a rich huge background of the academia, and speaking before all of you is really very difficult. But I have only come with a request that let us all collaborate together and come on the floors of on the dais of the JKEDI and to harness and harvest the real potential of the startup and the scheme itself, which is embedded in the principles of the scheme. With these words, I thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for that informative speech and the assurance for support at your end. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is my home, my family, its populace. Though my ingenuity goes far and deep, its fruits are not mine to keep. Its fruits are not mine to keep. This is the spirit displayed by our young innovators, and we hope to incubate and evolve many more. I now invite our student innovator, Mr. Omkar Singh, to address the audience.
Good afternoon, everyone, esteemed guest and principal sir, and all the esteemed guests represented here in this inauguration ceremony. I am Onkar Singh and I am the student of class 10 from BSF Senior Secondary School, Paloda, Jammu. I am a student innovator, the recipient of Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Puraskar, the highest civilian honor of our country for children. I am 5 times world record holder and many more, as मैम ने आपको पहले ही बता दिया. So I won't take too much time. So first of all, I would like to brief about my journey. कि start कैसे हुआ and how it was like. So at the age of 7, I was like too much involved in playing online games, video games, and so at that time. So one day my dad came और उन्होंने बोला कि just he pinged me out. It is a waste of time playing games. And I was, I think, 6 or 7 that time in 2011-12. So he just pinged me out कि you can do many more things like development. He just cited this word development. So I was like so much curious कि technology में क्या development है, क्या designing है, क्या coding है. So I was like चलो let उसको ढूंढा YouTube पे because YouTube is a digital library and what I believe is in this digital era you can do anything if you have that will and courage. Wasting your time in playing games instead that time you can do something else. अब 90s नहीं है या 80s नहीं है that you have to go to a library और आपको books खरीदना पड़ेगा पढ़ने के लिए. You have everything online and अगर जो आपका knowledge है उससे पॉजिटिव चीज में लेके जाओगे, knowledge है सबके पास, ब्रेन है सबके पास, होता क्या है कुछ लोग उसी नॉलेज को नेगेटिव वे में ले जाते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव हैकर्स, वायरस एंड ऑल. और जो लोग उसको पॉजिटिव वे में लेके जाते हैं, सो वी हैव वेरियस थिंग्स, टेक्नोलॉजिकल थिंग्स जो आज मैनकाइंड के लिए इतना हेल्प कर रही हैं. सो एट द एज ऑफ 7, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, ही पिंग मी आउट, सो आई वाज सो क्यूरियस, तो मैंने अपना पहला वेबसाइट एट द एज ऑफ 7 पब्लिश कर दिया. सो देन आई वाज अवॉर्डेड विद द वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड टाइटल ऑफ वर्ल्ड्स यंगेस्ट वेब मास्टर मेल एट द एज ऑफ 7. आफ्टर दैट remove. So that time I was like world record title and so if I would tell you to be honest, at the age of 7 years old I was not aware about world record registry and all. और जो ये at the age of 7 का टाइटल है ये मुझे 2019 में मिला है. ये तब मैंने अटेम्प्ट किया था. I was not aware कि ऐसा भी कुछ है. But when I got my first world record in 2018 for being the world's youngest theoretical author, I would explain it later on. So तब मुझे मिला. So मतलब at the starting I was too much curious about technology, science and all. और अब तो मेरा थोड़ा diplomacy and human rights as a speaker, as a innovator, as a change maker. So that time I was like too much curious about space science and all. Discovery पे shows आते हैं, cosmology के related show आते हैं, आप सब देखते होंगे. I hope so. तो I was like कि मुझे आइंस्टाइन की theories ने काफी ज्यादा प्रभावित किया. There are many of among you all also कि कुछ लोग हैं जो आइंस्टाइन में बहुत बिलीव करेंगे और कुछ है जो कहते हैं आइंस्टाइन की जो थ्योरीज हैं उसका कोई काम नहीं है, they are baseless. Research depend upon research to research, person to person. Currently हम जानते हैं कि 5G की अपकमिंग होने वाली है and I believe 5G is harmful to mankind. It's my research. Scientifically nothing is proven yet. Researches depend upon person to person. और एज अ रिसर्चर अगर कोई यंग रिसर्चर है who's willing to write a research paper and publish it, ऑलवेज नोट कि इट्स नॉट अ पॉलिटिकल थिंग कि आप अपनी स्टेटमेंट पे अड़ गए. साइंस चेंज होती रहती है. अब जो लॉ थे न्यूटन के लॉ थे, उनकी यूनिवर्सल ग्रेविटेशन की जो थ्योरी थी, यूनिवर्सल ऑफ ग्रेविटेशन, सॉरी, काफी सालों तक वो बिना किसी रुकावट या बिना किसी क्या बोलते हैं डिबेट्स के चलती गई. एंड आफ्टर सम टाइम जब आइंस्टाइन आया तो पूरी फिजिक्स को शुक करके रख दिया, हैरान कर दिया, क्या है ये. सो उस टाइम आई ऑल्सो रियलाइज दैट न्यूटन की जो थ्योरीज हैं, लॉज हैं, इट इज ओके टिल आवर अर्थ, बट यूनिवर्सल लेवल पे उसको सही नहीं माना जा सकता. यूनिवर्स में कुछ ऐसी चीजें, यूनिवर्स में जो फोर्सेज हैं वो निग्लिजिबल हैं. एज अ साइंटिफिक पर्सन आई वोंट से नो, क्योंकि हमारे लिए 0.000 भी मैटर करता है, ये अगर थोड़ी सी भी कोई चीज है. सो इन स्पेस वैक्यूम नहीं है, 100% वैक्यूम नहीं है, इट्स निग्लिजिबल, काफी कम है, बट है, स्टिल इट एग्जिस्ट. सो इट वाज लाइक कि जैसे आइंस्टाइन ने टाइम के ऊपर बहुत थ्योरीज दी, एंड टू लेट यू नो ऑल, I was awarded with the Bal Puraskar for my book When the Time Stops. It's a theoretical book. At the age of 12 लिखा. That's why world's youngest theoretical author. Thank you so much. So it was like कि मुझे जब ये टाइटल मिला वर्ल्ड्स यंगेस्ट थ्योरेटिकल ऑथर का, देन आई अप्लाइड फॉर वर्ल्ड्स यंगेस्ट वेबमास्टर, एंड होपफुली वो भी एक्सेप्ट हो गया. होता क्या है, एज अ मोटिवेशनल स्टेटमेंट आई वाज लाइक कि वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड टाइटल भी मिल गया, एंड मैं अपने पापा को बोलता था कि इसको थोड़ा मीडिया में हाईलाइट करो, लेट द मीडिया नो. बट ही वाज लाइक अभी राइट टाइम नहीं आया है, अभी कुछ भी नहीं हुआ है. एंड आई वाज कि क्या कर रहे हो पापा, मैं चाहता हूँ लोगों को पता चले, तो उन्होंने नहीं किया. उसके बाद एक नेशनल लेवल का कंपटीशन होता है, हमारे स्टेट में भी होता है, नेशनल चिल्ड्रन साइंस कांग्रेस, यू माइट बी अवेयर ऑफ, NCSC. सो वहां पे मैं लेके गया अपने प्रोजेक्ट को. इट वाज एंटी रेडिएशन प्रोटोटाइप मॉडल. सो वहां पे गया, डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल भी पास हो गया, स्टेट भी हो गया, एंड वी वर रिजेक्टेड एट द नेशनल लेवल. एंड आई वाज सो डिप्रेस्ड कि क्या है कि मैंने ये किया, इट्स एन इनोवेशन, एंड व्हाई इट वाज रिजेक्टेड. एंड उसके 3 महीने के बाद मुझे बाल पुरस्कार मिल गया फॉर द सेम रिसर्च. देन सो इट वाज क्या बोलते हैं उसको, इट वाज एक मेरे लिए वो हो गया कि जैसे पिनेकल बोलते हैं सक्सेस का. सो मैंने एक लेवल रीच कर दिया. सो दैट टाइम मीडिया आ गया, पूरा मीडिया कवरेज था, एंड जितना भी मैंने जो रिसर्चेस किया मैंने मीडिया में भेज दिया. पीपल गॉट टू नो अबाउट इट. देन प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी, ही ट्वीटेड फ्रॉम हिज ट्विटर हैंडल, कांग्रेचुलेशंस. प्रेसिडेंट ने किया, एंड ऑल द हाई लेवल डिग्नेटरीज, पॉलिटिशियंस. सो काफी अच्छा एक्सपोजर मिला मीडिया में. अब मैं कोविड की बात करता हूँ. कोविड आया, सबके लिए अलग था. ये किसी ने नहीं सोचा था कि ऐसा वायरस आएगा कि हमें सब कुछ ऑनलाइन करना पड़ेगा, बट हमने कम्बैट किया उसके साथ. कुछ लोग कोविड के आने के स्टार्टिंग में डिप्रेस हो गए. आई वाज आल्सो डिप्रेस्ड. सो व्हाट आई बिलीव, अगर कोविड नहीं आया होता ना, अभी मैं सिर्फ उस बाल पुरस्कार तक ही सीमित रहता. यहाँ तो उसके आगे कुछ करता ही नहीं. यहाँ तो मेरे बोर्ड्स आ जाते. आई वाज इन क्लास 10th, मैं भी क्लास 10th में हूँ, तो मैं यहाँ तो उधर चला जाता. बट कोविड गेव मी अपॉर्चुनिटी, ड्यू टू विच आई एम टुडे एट द यूनाइटेड नेशंस आल्सो. सो इट वाज लाइक कि जब कोविड आया, अब उस टाइम तो कोविड स्टार्टिंग था, रिसर्चेस भी कितनी कमी हुई थी जितना था. कोविड इज वेरी हार्मफुल, काफी डेंजरस है, काफी ज्यादा इसका फैटिलिटी रेट है. सो एज एन डिजिटल इनोवेटर, एज अ वेब डेवलपर, यंगेस्ट वेब डेवलपर, सो आई थॉट लेट्स डू समथिंग फॉर अ सोशल कॉज. हम वेबसाइट्स बनाते हैं कमर्शियल यूज के लिए, नॉन प्रॉफिट के लिए भी बना लेते हैं. क्या हम उसी टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ ऐसा बना सकते हैं दैट इट कैन हेल्प अस कि हमारी टेस्ट किट कम हो जाए, हमें लाइव डेटा मिल पाए सही टू सही. बिकॉज जो हमारा मिनिस्ट्री है हेल्थ अफेयर्स का, MOHFW, फैमिली हेल्थ वेलफेयर का, उनका जो डेटा है इट अपडेट्स आफ्टर 1 डे. अभी शायद थोड़ा जल्दी करते हैं, और वाइज करते हैं. उस टाइम डे वाइज होता था कि आज पूरे दिन में इतना आया. सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ सम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो पहले से ही काम कर रही है, उनके साथ लिंक करके एक डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म वो लोग बनाया, कोविड केयर जम्मू. सो ये वेबसाइट है www.covidcarejammu.in. सो ये अप्रैल में मैंने बनाया. एंड इसमें क्या है, यू कैन डू अ सेल्फ रिस्क असेसमेंट. आप डालो कि आपके क्या सिम्टम्स आ रहे हैं. इफ आपको कुछ लग रहा है, उससे होगा कि आपको एक क्या बोलते हैं, आपको थोड़ा, जैसे हम वोटिंग करने जाते हैं तो एग्जिट पोल आ जाता है, आइडिया, तो आपको थोड़ा आइडिया मिल जाएगा कि कितने चांसेस है आपके एक्सपोजर के, कोविड को कितना एक्सपोजर, उसके चांसेस कितने हैं. इट इज नॉट एक्यूरेट वन, बट एक्सपोजर कितना है उसके चांसेस में, it ranked among one of the highest as per the George Mercatus University. So उसमें हमने डाला। देन क्योंकि स्टार्टिंग में कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग वाज द मेन प्रॉब्लम, क्योंकि उस टाइम हमें मेन चेन को तोड़ना था, बिकॉज ब्रेक द चेन, वायरस स्प्रेड करना खत्म कर देगा, नॉर्मल लाइफ कंटिन्यू हो जाएगी। सो टू बी ऑनेस्ट इट वाज फ्लॉप, वो फ्लॉप हो गया। इट वाज द लास्ट कोविड इनिशिएटिव कि अगर कोई कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग करने के लिए, इफ इन केस किसी को कोविड के सिम्टम्स हैं, उसका जो रिस्क असेसमेंट में भी हाई एक्सपोजर आया है, तो वो खुद डिक्लेयर कर दे, सो दैट जो मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज, जो मेडिकल हमारी अथॉरिटीज है, बिकॉज वी वर कोलैबोरेटेड विद दी जीएमसी गवर्नमेंट मेडिकल कॉलेज, सो वो जो सर्विसेज होंगी दे कैन कॉन्टैक्ट विद देम और कोऑर्डिनेट करके कर लेंगे। सो टू बी ऑनेस्ट इट वाज फ्लॉप, कोई ज्यादा उस पर रिस्पॉन्सेज नहीं आया, स्पैम भी हुए, हमने स्पैम फिल्टर्स भी लगा दिए, सो इट वाज ऑफ नो यूज। बट सेल्फ रिस्क असेसमेंट वाज वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट यूज्ड फीचर, एंड जो लाइव, जो क्योंकि हमने देखा कि जो आधी गवर्नमेंट से, जैसे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है अलग अलग, वो डेटा क्या कहते हैं और बेस पे कोई 3 घंटे के बेस पे अपडेट कर रही हैं, सो उसके बेसिस पे हमने एक डेटा बना लिया, वो थोड़ा काफी सिमिलर था। अभी तो बिल्कुल ठीक कर दिया मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ अफेयर्स ने, सो उस टाइम ऐसे था। After that it was initiated as a global version, COVID Global Care, and it was initiated under the banner of World Humanity Commission, an intergovernmental organization registered with the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. So it got a big project, more than 20 million users, live users, and with the one day of launch, 3 million unique users ने उसको यूज किया, एंड इट वाज अ नॉन प्रॉफिट प्रोजेक्ट। इतना ज्यादा था, वी कैन पुट एड्स एंड गेट मोनेटाइज, बट हमने नहीं किया, बिकॉज जब जब एड्स होती हैं, आपको पता होगा, तो किसी का मन नहीं करता वेबसाइट पर जाने का, बिकॉज बग्स भी कई बार आ जाते हैं। सो हमने रखा ही नहीं, बिल्कुल नॉन प्रॉफिट हुआ। आफ्टर दैट आई मुझे एज ए इंडियन यंग एम्बेसडर, एज ए ह्यूमैनिटेरियन, ऑनर्ड बाय द वर्ल्ड ह्यूमैनिटी कमीशन। आफ्टर दैट आप जैसे जानते हो, बिकॉज जम्मू कश्मीर को आप जानते हो, पॉलिटिकल मुद्दे बहुत है यहाँ पे। एंड एक चीज अभी सर ने भी बोली थी, बहुत अच्छी बात है कि जब इनोवेशंस आती हैं प्रॉब्लम से, अब आप नासा में देख लो या अमेरिका में देख लो, यूएस में मोस्ट साइंटिस्ट या इनोवेटर्स हैं, रिसर्चर्स हैं, डेवलपर्स हैं, मोस्ट आर फ्रॉम इंडिया, या बैक साइड ऑफ द कंट्री, सबसे डार्केस्ट साइड में से हैं, बिकॉज जहां जहां प्रॉब्लम्स है, इनोवेशन वहीं पे आती है। अगर प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं होंगी तो इनोवेशन नहीं आएंगी। हमारे इंडिया में क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, क्यों यहाँ पे इनोवेटर्स को एक अच्छे लेवल पे नहीं लेके जा पा रहा? बट आई बिलीव इज क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट के कुछ इनिशिएटिव्स होने चाहिए, बट आई सजेस्ट सो दैट अगर कुछ लोगों में इनोवेशन है तो उनको एक लेवल भी दिया जाए। इनोवेशन इंडिया में बहुत है, यहाँ पे बहुत इंटेलिजेंट बच्चे हैं, बहुत इंटेलिजेंट इनोवेटर्स हैं विद द ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स, और यूएस जैसी कंट्रीज उनको पिकअप कर लेती हैं, देन दे स्टार्ट वर्किंग फॉर देयर कंट्री। वो जितने भी इनोवेटर्स अभी यहाँ से यूएस गए हैं, बाहर की कंट्रीज में गए हैं, उनको अच्छी फैसिलिटी जरूर मिल रही है, पर वो समझ नहीं रहे कि वो गुलाम बन चुके हैं उनके। बट इस तरीके से गुलाम बनाया गया, उनको पता ही नहीं चल रहा वो गुलाम बने हुए हैं। दे आर लाइक कि हमें फैसिलिटीज मिल रही है, हम खुश हैं, तो उनको पता नहीं चल रहा कि हम एक गुलाम बने हुए हैं उनके, क्योंकि उनको इतना अच्छा उन्होंने दिया है, फैसिलिटीज दे दिया, आपको जॉब सिक्योरिटी दे दिया, सब कर दिया, दे आर वेरी हैप्पी देयर। बट अगर वही इनोवेटर्स हमारी कंट्री के लिए काम करें, सो हमारी कंट्री कहां से कहां पहुंच जाएगी, वो हम इमेजिन भी नहीं कर सकते। बट फॉर दैट गवर्नमेंट नीड टू इन्वेस्ट। अब जम्मू कश्मीर की बात कर लो, गुजरात में सबसे ज्यादा, जैसे जॉब जॉब क्रिएटिंग गुजरात में सबसे ज्यादा है, वहां पे जॉब में लोग इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं करते, दे वांट टू स्टार्ट देयर ओन स्टार्टअप, उनका खुद बिजनेस करना है, कहते हैं ना गुजराती लोग बिजनेस वाले। जम्मू कश्मीर में स्टार्टअप्स का इतना प्रॉब्लम है कि एक स्टार्टअप को करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है ड्यू टू फंडिंग प्रॉब्लम्स एंड ऑल। इन गुजरात इट्स लाइक ए हेरिडिटी थिंग कि वहां पे बिजनेस का काफी ज्यादा एक्सपोजर है, जम्मू कश्मीर में नहीं। अभी भी ये ताबू बना हुआ है कि आप एंटरप्रेन्योर बन के क्या करोगे भाई, पढ़ लो, जाके सरकारी जॉब कर लो,
बेचारे को अंदर डाल
ये
दो
बना
तो
हुआ है।
6 महीने
बट
बाहर आएगा।
कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो जाना चाहते हैं, तो होता है कि आप सोसाइटी से बिल्कुल अलग जा रहे हो, बट आप कुछ भी करोगे तो सोसाइटी से हटके करोगे, तभी आपको लोग पहचानेंगे।
गुजरात भी जा रहा है माल, पंजाब भी
दिस
आ रहा है,
थिंग
जम्मू भी आ रहा है,
ऑल्सो, इफ आई कैन शेयर दिस,
यहाँ से पीछे जाता नहीं है माल, कच्चा माल दिल्ली से लगता है, इधर से कोई
यस सर,
क्या करे,
I mean, finding success
उसका बिजनेस चलने वाला वो सारे बाहर के आगे बैठ गए हैं।
हाँ श्योर,
know that failure is part of success.
ऑब्वियसली,
Of failure to want it.
या
And failure is absolutely no way. It's not that examination failure.
No.
Failure is also failure. I think we know the fact.
So please, all of you look at the screen. So first of all, I would like to let you know that just in August, I started a company, Paradox Sonic Space Research Agency. जैसे मैम ने भी आपको बता दिया, आई एम इंटरनेशनल डायरेक्टर एट अफ्रीकन स्पेस रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड सीनियर डायरेक्टर फॉर इंडिया एट स्पेस टूरिज्म. सो मैंने खुद का एक स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट किया, एक रिसर्च स्टार्टअप स्टार्ट किया, जिसके मेंबर्स वगैरह दे आर वर्ल्ड वाइड साइंटिस्ट फ्रॉम नासा, इसरो एंड ऑल. सो दिस इज अ स्टार्टअप. और हम करना क्या चाहते हैं, वी वांट टू गिव एन प्लेटफॉर्म टू द रिसर्चर्स. इट इज एन नॉन प्रॉफिट, आप बोल लो, इट्स अ नॉन प्रॉफिट एसोसिएशन काइंड ऑफ थिंग, बट इसको हमने एनजीओ के अंदर नहीं लाया है. सो इसमें है क्या, जो भी यंग रिसर्चर्स हैं, आइडियाज हैं आपके पास, वी वुड गिव यू रिसोर्सेज, यू कम एंड डू फॉर योरसेल्फ. बिकॉज एवरीथिंग, सब कुछ लोग पैसे के लिए नहीं करते, कुछ पैशन के लिए भी करते हैं. This PSSR, Paradox Sonic Space Research Agency, was earlier named as Passionate Student Space Research Organization, driven by zealous passionates. आपके अंदर पैशन है, हम आपको रिसोर्सेज देंगे, अपना पैशन पूरा करो, हमें भी खुशी होगी. सो दिस वेबसाइट, इट्स लोडिंग. सो अब हाँ, थैंक यू सो मच. सो इट इज पैराडॉक्स सोनिक स्पेस रिसर्च एजेंसी. अब वेबसाइट है, this website is built by a WordPress. So this website, आप देख सकते हो, पैराडॉक्स सोनिक स्पेस रिसर्च एजेंसी. अब मैं आपको थोड़ा सा इसका आउटलुक दूंगा कि क्या है. सबसे पहले मैं आपको अबाउट अस में लेके जाता हूँ, दैट व्हाट वाज आवर स्टोरी, हम स्टार्ट कैसे हुआ. So our story is like this. जो ये हमारी एजेंसी, it was initiated by a group of cosmology, aviation and aerospace aspirants with an aim to achieve the heights in the excellence in research and development in aerospace and space technology. Paradox Sonic Space Research Agency is a leading scientific firm for the young researchers and scholars to promote the innovations in science and technology by displaying their knowledge in the vicinity of science and technology for the service of mankind and advancement of general welfare. We are standing tall in the field of research and development. Our objective is to provide a platform which will promote, encourage, and support scholars, researchers, and professionals to carry and accomplish their research work. So this is our story. अब कितने ज्यादा स्पेस स्टार्टअप्स आ चुके हैं आज के टाइम पे, बट वो नोन नहीं है. स्पेसएक्स को सब जानते हैं, आपको पता होगा. इलॉन मस्क जस्ट अभी द वर्ल्ड्स रिचेस्ट मैन बन गए हैं. इलॉन मस्क, द मैन ऑफ चेंज, आई वुड से, बिकॉज ये कहीं ना कहीं जो हमारा आज का इनॉग्रल सेरेमनी है, जो वर्कशॉप होना है, इट्स अबाउट एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, साइंस एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, इनोवेशन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. इलॉन मस्क, he never complained about कि हमारे वर्ल्ड में कितनी प्रॉब्लम्स है. उसने कभी कंप्लेन नहीं किया कि कितनी हमारी प्रॉब्लम्स है, कितने एनवायरमेंटल इश्यूज है. बट व्हाट he did, he changed it. He wanted a secure digital payment method. He invented PayPal. He wanted electric cars, तो उन्होंने टेस्ला स्टार्ट कर दिया. Now he want to go into space, उन्होंने SpaceX खोल दिया. SpaceX ने नासा के साथ MOU साइन कर लिया. मतलब आज SpaceX नासा से भी ऊपर है. एक प्राइवेट कंपनी इतनी ज्यादा ऊपर हो गई है कि नासा के साइंटिस्ट जॉब छोड़कर अब SpaceX में जा रहे हैं. तो ही वाज दैट पर्सन जिसने सिर्फ इसी साल में 500% अपनी नेटवर्थ बढ़ा रही और वर्ल्ड्स रिचेस्ट मैन बन गए. दिस इज अ स्टोरी ऑफ अ ट्रू एंटरप्रेन्योर. कि कैसे, कहां से उठ के कहां पहुंच गए, और सेक्टर कौन सा स्पेस का सेक्टर है. हम जब छोटे थे ना, हमें लगता था, जब आई वाज इन 6-7, आई बिलीव कि दैट इसरो ही हो सकता है या नासा ही हो सकता है, और कोई रिसर्च फर्म नहीं बन सकती. स्पेस इज ओनली फॉर द गवर्नमेंट, बट स्पेस इज फॉर एवरीवन. स्पेस सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट के लिए नहीं है, सबके लिए स्पेस. हमारा एक डिक्लेरेशन है, अभी वेबसाइट पे अपलोडेड की है, मैं वो आपको बताना चाहूंगा. इट्स अ वेरी बिग प्रोजेक्ट एंड इट्स एन यूनाइटेड नेशंस रेजोल्यूशन. In 2023 at Geneva, Switzerland, we initiated a project called Declaration 2023, the International Declaration on Privatization of Space. So this declaration would be proposed as a resolution towards the UN General Assembly at Vienna. And Vienna Convention में United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs हम इसको यूएन में एक यूनाइटेड नेशन स्पेस प्राइवेटाइजेशन यूनियन इस्टेब्लिश करेंगे अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ द यूएन ऑफिस ऑफ आउटर स्पेस अफेयर्स कि प्राइवेट रिसर्च फर्म्स को भी आप रजिस्टर करो दैट लोग भी जाने कि स्पेसएक्स नासा ही नहीं और भी प्राइवेट फर्म्स हैं ऐसी जो काफी कुछ कर सकती हैं एंड दैट कैन चेंज द वर्ल्ड स्पेस इज फॉर एवरीवन सो दिस इज द इंटरनेशनल डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ प्राइवेटाइजेशन ऑफ स्पेस जिसको 800 से ज्यादा प्राइवेट स्पेस रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ज्वाइन करेंगी ऑल अराउंड द वर्ल्ड पूरी यूएन मेंबर स्टेट से और इसको एज अ रेजोल्यूशन प्रपोज कर दिया जाएगा एंड द बेस्ट थिंग इज दैट बेस्ट पार्ट इज दैट 7 यूएन मेंबर स्टेट्स ऑलरेडी एग्रीड कि वो इस रेजोल्यूशन को एक्सेप्ट करेंगे और अपना वोटिंग यस में देंगे सो इट्स एन बिग अचीवमेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस एंड पीएसएसआर इज नॉट जस्ट फॉर आवर ओन बेटरमेंट बट जितने भी रिसर्चर्स हैं दे कैन ज्वाइन एप्लीकेशंस आर सून गोइंग टू ओपन नाउ सर ने बोला आप फेलियर्स का इसको हम बंद करके थोड़ा सा डिस्कशन को गाइड करते हैं सो जैसा फेलियर्स की बात की फेलियर सबके लाइफ में आते हैं मैंने पहले ही बताया दैट आई वाज जब मैंने अपना एंटी रेडिएशन प्रोजेक्ट लेके आया सो इट वाज रिजेक्टेड और मैं तो काफी डिप्रेस था कि क्यों ऐसा हुआ देन आई वाज अवॉर्डेड मैं एक चीज सबको बोलना चाहूंगा सक्सेस कैन बी डिलेड बट इट कैन नॉट बी डिनाइड यू जस्ट डू द हार्ड वर्क सक्सेस आपका डिले हो सकता है काफी ज्यादा डिले हो सकता है बट कभी डिनाई नहीं हो सकता अब कितने ज्यादा साइंटिस्ट इनोवेटर्स यहाँ पे हैं कितनी एज्ड हैं उनको स्टार्टिंग में नहीं मिला बट सक्सेस मैंने बोला डिले हो सकता है ले आपका डिनाई नहीं हो सकता इफ यू आर वर्दी ऑफ इट यू जस्ट डू योर हार्ड वर्क अगर अभी जैसे जब हमें राष्ट्रपति पुरस्कार मिला देन वी वर कॉल्ड फॉर एन एक्सक्लूसिव मीटअप विद द प्राइम मिनिस्टर एट द पीएमओ रेजिडेंस सो इट वाज लाइक काफी अच्छा लगा वो इतना बड़ा जो प्रोग्राम वो भी सीधा प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफिस में सो उस टाइम हुआ क्या प्राइम मिनिस्टर आए उन्होंने स्पीच दिया उन्होंने एक चीज बोली दैट उड़ने मत लग जाना ये अवार्ड मिल गया ना उड़ने मत लग जाना हाईएस्ट सिविलियन ऑनर है तो क्या हुआ ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है होता है ना कि हम काफी ज्यादा प्राइड फीलिंग में आ जाते हैं कि अब तो हम सेलिब्रिटी बन गए अब तो हम इतने अच्छे इन्फ्लुएंसर बन गए अब हमें क्या करना है हमें हाईएस्ट सिविलियन ऑनर मिल गया यहाँ पे चीजें स्टार्ट खत्म नहीं होती हैं ये सिर्फ स्टार्टिंग थी ये एक बेस मिल गया जिसकी वजह से अगर मैं यहाँ पे हूँ एंड टू बी ऑनेस्ट मेरा कोई भी डायरेक्ट रिलेशन नहीं है एनआईएफ के साथ ना ही ज्ञान फाउंडेशन के साथ बट आई एम वेरी वेरी थैंकफुल क्योंकि स्टेट का मुझे पहला रिकॉग्निशन मिला एंड आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल कि बाकी वर्क्स को भी रिकॉग्नाइज किया एंड आज मुझे बुलाया एज अ स्टूडेंट इनोवेटर एज स्पेशल इनवाइटी सो आई एम वेरी मच डिलाइटेड मेरा भी पहला गवर्नमेंट के साथ प्रोग्राम है सो आई एम वेरी वेरी हैप्पी एंड थैंकफुल एंड ऑलवेज कीप इन माइंड वन थिंग सक्सेस कैन बी डिलेड लेट नहीं हो सकता यू जस्ट डू योर हार्ड वर्क एंड ऑलवेज कीप इन माइंड कुछ भी करो ह्यूमैनिटी को हमेशा ध्यान में रखना अगर ह्यूमैनिटी है तो हम सब हैं अगर मैं भी 5G की बात करता हूँ इट्स माय पर्सपेक्टिव 5G इज नॉट सो मच मतलब इतना कोई जरूरत नहीं है उसका वो वेरी हार्मफुल है और एक और चीज बोलूंगा कि 5G इज अ ग्रीड नॉट अ नीड ये सिर्फ ग्रीड है 4G की एक्सटेंट पे जाओ ना 200-300 MBPS ऐसे ही मिल जाती है स्पीड क्यों चाहिए 5G क्या करोगे 5G का मतलब ऐसे क्या हो रहा है हम पेशेंस लॉस करते जा रहे हैं अभी टिकटॉक वाले एप्स आ गए बैन क्यों किया इट्स नॉट जस्ट कि चाइनीज ऐप है इसका हमारे ऊपर भी इफेक्ट पड़ता है हमारी पहले कैपेसिटी होती थी हम 2-2 दिन बुक्स पढ़ते थे उसके बाद फिल्म्स आ गई 2-3 घंटे हो गया करते करते हम अब 5 मतलब हमारा इतना पेशेंस नहीं है कि हम एक 10 मिनट की वीडियो देख पाए हमें हर 5 सेकंड के बाद नया कंटेंट चाहिए दैट वाई टिकटॉक वाज बैंड और ये काफी अच्छा डिसीजन था क्योंकि इससे क्या हो रहा है हमारा पेशेंस लेवल खत्म हो रहा है हमें हर 5-10 सेकंड के बाद अब नया कंटेंट चाहिए सो दैट्स वाई पेशेंस हमेशा रखनी चाहिए और ग्रीड है अभी जितनी भी हम एक्स्ट्रा टेक्नोलॉजी में कर रहे हैं ना विदाउट की देखो इन्वायरमेंट होगा तो होगा रोबोट 2.0 आप सबने देखी हाँ इट्स वॉज अ साइंस फिक्शन फिल्म बट उनका जो मैसेज था ना वो बिल्कुल सही था अब साइंस फिक्शन है तो थोड़ा बहुत तो बढ़ा चढ़ा के दिखाएंगे बट इट वॉज अ रियल मैसेज की रेडिएशन इज हार्मफुल और एक आम बात है रेडिएशन इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी अब एनर्जी पे ज्यादा एक्सपोजर करोगे कोई ना कोई इफेक्ट तो होगा ना आपको रेडिएशन क्या है एनर्जी का फॉर्म है सो 5G इज नॉट अ नीड एट ऑल 4G में अगर हमें अच्छी स्पीड मिल जाए एवरीथिंग इज ओके पेशेंस हमें बहुत जरूरत है अगर हम पेशेंस नहीं रखेंगे ना आने वाले 400-500 साल में द वर्ल्ड वुड डिस्ट्रॉय और हम उसी की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं बट काफी हद तक ह्यूमैनिटी ने उसके ऊपर रोक पाई है और हमें बस इसको रोक के रखना है अपने पेशेंस लेवल को बढ़ाना है सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर माय प्लेजर टू डू थैंक यू सो मच
एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी
पोस्ट 8 में
एक्सीलेंट हाँ
and
उधर ही
some
होगा
people are to work often with you. And all these government sitting in the shape of 144 principles, we've been drafting with you often. I'm very hopeful they will drive you to their institutions and invite him as a moderator speaker because he can speak for 20 years as success and opportunity and also speak about how humanism is important. While humanism, I also lay a great stress, essentially coming forth, where the information technology and the biotechnology is revolutionizing the humankind itself.
1:30 बजे
We may be
तो
having
3
half
बजे
robot, half human. So there, the
फिर नहीं
humanism
निकले
will be defining the line to define the clear existence of humankind. We are in the greatest of the name that humankind.
मेरे ख्याल से 50 मिनट तो इधर लगेंगे
In case we are not listening to our words, we will be having no species left to be called humans. That's the message, great message. Very good. Well thought out.
Thank you, sir. I call upon Said Nadeem ji to inform the audience about this 3-month innovation, incubation, and training program. Said Nadeem ji is honored with an award in scouting and documenting the innovative and creative minds from unorganized sector. He is the recipient of World Intellectual Property Organization Scholarship. He recently had a 1-year-long training from Korean Development Institute, which is Asia's first #1 think tank in the public policy and development policy. He worked with organizations like National Innovation Foundation, Center for Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship, IIM Ahmedabad. He's an active member of Honeybee Network and is heading Gyan JNK.
Respected Talat sir, respected director of colleges, respected principals of various colleges of JNK. My name is Said Nadeem, and actually I'm heading the GAN JNK. And as Dr. Ramanan told about the challenges and how we fetch the innovative ideas and how we fetch the new entrepreneurs, that's a need of our. That's why we charted this program for 3 months under the leadership of Professor Gupta and Talat sir. I will brief about what we are going to do in coming 3 months. And basically, you are the nodal agency who have to implement in the colleges. And even everyone is talking about the, building the strong innovation ecosystem. I will share one story, a fantastic story. When I was a kid, mainly when I was going to the school, and my parents, my grandparents always tell me, when you go to the toilet or washroom, do not put any writing material in your pocket, it's a big sin. But when I landed in International Airport, when I use the public toilet, I saw the book rack in the toilet. Modern books, magazines, newspapers, this is a culture, how they build the strong innovation ecosystem. Right now, Korea is the top 4 in terms of R&D spending, in terms of patent filing, and its number is Korea surpassed the China in terms of global innovation ranking. Korea is now at 10. Korea is a fantastic country in terms of innovations, in terms of entrepreneurs. They have pali-pali nature. Pali-pali means very quickly, they have no time. But they have one fantastic and amazing behavior. They support, they respect their culture and their elders. One day I went with one professor. He was the education minister of South Korea, and he contributed a lot in the transformation of Korean economy and Korean education sector. When I went with the professor to his home, there were kids. Kids wait their elders for the food. That's a culture. They respect their language. I saw many Korean professors who studied in Harvard, who studied in the Oxford, and even the big doctors that was facing some problem there, they hardly know about the English. That's why they respect their culture, they respect their language. Now I'm talking about the program. We'll start this program in inaugural ceremony. We'll start the program at Kotwa Degree College maybe day after tomorrow. And there are some, how we execute it. First, we have to scout ideas, innovative ideas. How we scout innovative ideas? We will do in two ways. First, we will give the problem to the students. We will draft some challenge, and students will come with the solution of that ideas. Number second, we will involve students in scouting, in recognizing the knowledge from elders. We'll give the assignment to the students. Go to your home, discuss with your parents, discuss with your elders, because every elder, I have parents, I have grandfather. When I was in Korea, my grandmother died. She had a lot of wisdom, and I was very unlucky. I do not, got that wisdom. It will be one of our main program that we will link the students with elders. They will go to their parents. They will discuss with the parents, gain the knowledge, gain the traditional knowledge. Actually, this knowledge is eroding. No one is looking about this knowledge. Second thing, we will link the students with the service providers. We have mechanics, we have carpenters, we have barbers, we have washermen, we have different kinds of service providers. But we never link the students with these service providers. We link the students with the service providers. Go to that place, see what they are doing. Mr. Rafiq is in front of me. He never went to the school, but he is a fantastic innovator. He has a patent on his name. Let us search in all our education institutions. How many patents you have filed in your college? Can anyone tell me? How many patents you have in your college? I think maybe we have no patents from the colleges, even from IITs. When I was in Kashmir University with Gyan, and I filed the 70 patents there. And majority of these patents come from the grassroots, from the informal sector, like Rafiq, like Tausif, like other people. Less patents from the IIT, less from Kashmir University. Even we have the biotechnology lab there. But why the less patents? Let us start this work from today. I hope I'm with you. Maybe after this program, I'm sure that we may have successful in the filing of mainly 10 or 20 patents. This will be scouting will be the first step. Then after scouting, we will do mentoring sessions with these students who came with these innovative ideas. We'll document their ideas. I already shared the format, and we'll do face-to-face mentoring session. We will invite the top quality experts from the country to do the mentoring session with the students. Then after that, we'll do research, analysis, and IPR. Research analysis means maybe we need the designing. You have seen the design of the Dharamveer. We engage the best designer of the country. We spend almost 15 lakh in that designing. We will involve the designers. We'll involve other R&D labs where we do the research analysis. After the research analysis, I have expertise in the field of IPR. I can do the patent search. I can do the patent filing. Maybe I will do free of cost. Even the Vikrant, the famous patent attorney of India, will join in the second session. Yesterday we were discussing with the Vikrant. Maybe he will do less in terms of patent filing. After that, we'll do the basic thing, incubation, product development. We'll do in the incubation centers. We have our mentorship institutions like NIT, IIT, even our incubation lab at Ahmedabad at Gyan office. Then, as Professor Unil Gupta already promised, Talas sir, will provide a micro venture innovation fund. It's a high risk fund. If any student want to incubate his idea, want to commercialize his innovation, our organization will provide the MUF support. Already we have provided MUF support to the students. Recently we provided the MUF support to Mr. Rafiq and Mr. Mushtaq, mainly of the two classes. After that,
After this program, we are charting another program, that's students involvement. We involve students in the summer schools and winter schools. What we are doing in the summer schools and winter schools, mainly in IIM Ahmedabad, we catch the students from IITs, IIMs, top motor institutes, and the local students, and we will give them a rural area, go there, see the problem, and then come with and develop a solution for the problem. And we also give the internship facility to the students. This will be the flow chart, how we do it, like awareness, scouting and documentation, then it may be a traditional knowledge, maybe indigenous technology, maybe it's maybe an idea, business model. Then we'll do the analysis, then we'll link with the R&Ds, then we do the value addition, patent filing, testing, benchmarking, then dissemination through newspapers or other channels. We'll also, maybe I will request, maybe when Anil Gupta sir will be here on an afternoon, maybe he will discuss with Talas sir, maybe we'll set up the awards, student awards, yearly students awards, innovation awards for the students. That will, that will create a spirit of innovation ecosystem, culture of innovation ecosystem in the JNK state. Then finally, commercialization and technology transfer. Thank you very much. This is the overall program schedule. You have a one copy with your kit. Please go through and make this 3-month program. It's your program. It's part of our society. It's part of our kids. Let's make together a very successful program. Let's take a pledge. Let's search the innovations. Let's sense the unmet social needs. Let's celebrate and let's support the innovation. Thank you very much.
Every person is eager to know how they can avail this all your awareness camps, your ideation hackathons.
Yeah, actually, sir, actually, yeah, we have make the chart out. For example, on 18th, we are going to Delhi College, Pushpa.
They must be knowing.
Yeah, maybe your office has already communicated all these, maybe sparks of
yourself, while you go from the ice, let me just keep I think wondering where are you going, how you're rolling out 3 months into action with our technology. Okay. So we don't want to do it at professionalism. We want to do it really, rolling out plans, thinking from today onward. We don't want to see any person rising to the rise, asking principles that we don't have to. I want to just remove this bridge and gap from our body.
Just because all our students are our own students, we have to change the culture. We have to create this culture to.
We should be each month filing some other way.
Yes.
Granted, this is a thing, but at least filing.
Yeah, filing patent is a.
We cannot stand this. You can say accumulation that somebody buys and dies and calling it for a patent. Well, I will say there are many patents for it, but those are individual efforts. We want to initialize the effort. That's not that nobody is done a patent. In case I have this one from 18 dollar. Many people have patents, but they are not initializing it. It's a personalized patent.
Okay.
Let us make an institutional patents now. We need to take documentation and take file. Our mission has faculty patent, student patent, this and that awareness and filing of this and that. All these will be taken into account. Also, we have been trying to develop the ecosystem of research as well, skilling as well. As Ramanathan was saying, the skilling, innovation, integration of technology, disruptive technology, especially industry 4 revolution technologies, will be a breakthrough for all the innovation. All the 3 initiatives are in place. These are the principles pivotal offices who will be implementing all these 3 pillars, which will lead to our 5 years strategy of Atmanirbhar, which was the slide of the university. But I wish you see you kindle the seed, let you kindle the moment, and we will be very grateful for your leader. And this 3-month program is really serious about it. It's not 1-day workshop. It's 3 months ago, and I would like to know where are you going and what are your strategies and how you expect us to cooperate. What other challenges would be required to be addressed
Yes, sir. Your office has already shared the schedule or the schedule with the respective principals. Uh,
On 18th.
Yeah, so on 18th, we have program at GDC Boys Kutwa. Then on 21st of January, we have at GGM Science College Jammu. Then on 28th of January, we have GDC Udhampur. Then 2nd of Feb, we have at the GDC Rajouri. Then 8th of Feb, we have at GDC Boys Badrabad. On 15th of Feb, we have Government Degree College Boys Anantnag. And 18th of Feb, we have in Government Degree College Boys Mama. And on 22nd of Feb, we have at Government Degree College, Amni Road. And on 25th of Feb, we have Government Degree College, Boys, Baramulla. And on 15th of March, we have at Islamia College of Science and Commerce. And after that, once we complete this awareness, this is the phase second, like we will create a prior reports of the ideas. We will try to design and development and validate the proof of concepts. Then we will try to develop a prototype. Then we will maybe do the testing and trials. And then we may file the patents, copyrights, designs, and trademarks. Then we'll try to create a startups and technology transfers if we get some best ideas in these 3 months.
I believe this is one of the various camps will be holding on all these colleges.
Yeah.
And where will the other things follow? Will it be again a round of interaction or what will be the methodology?
So no, once during this awareness, we will do also ideation. We will interact with the students and we will document the students' ideas on spot.
And then network them.
Yeah, we will
So
network.
network will open a portal, and another portal will be having all the ideas done and other ideas and other programming have extended. What will be the
So once we will conduct all these camps, and then we will go through all these ideas we scout in during these training camps, and then we'll do in second phase in month of April to do validating of these ideas.
So I would suggest that you just devise this some type of a guideline or a roadmap so that principals in advance know that your team is coming. Before your team arrives in the college, we must have done some prior work.
Yes, sir.
Prior work is more important.
Yeah, we
If you
have.
do the prior work, it will be more fruitful and useful.
Yes, sir.
for your visit. That's how we are.
Sir, we all these documents have been already shared by your coordination cell.
Anything
And
you want to comment on this program?
yeah, the roadmap is already shared with the respective principals.
कैसे क्या करोगे Why? Are you aware of this what program they are actually कैसे करोगे
roadmap निकालना है।
आपको कैसे ये कैसे लास्ट इनोवेशन को प्रेडिक्ट करने का अपने टारगेट you have to drive it. You have to drive it. So how would you like to drive this? Then only Gyan is not going to come and do the patenting or do the research or do the innovation. It is you as an institution, your faculty, your students who have to avail the facility of mentoring from them. Other things have to happen from your end. They can help you in patent filing.
Yeah.
But other things can't be helped from their end. You have to generate as Onkar is doing of its own. Nobody is asking you to do it. So you have to come and be an innovator yourself, and they will be only providing the networking. And they will be providing the help which you may otherwise not be finding it easy. So this is how I'm this simply knowing it is not a routine program what we used to do in colleges. It's not that directors of the college is issuing a circular and we follow the circular. It's not following a circular. It has to come from within. Do you want to say something?
Yes. हाँ सर, उसमें ये है कि हमने ये जो है हमारे हब इंस्टीट्यूशन से हमारी स्पोर्ट्स इंस्टीट्यूशन से अब लंच का टाइम हो रहा है लेकिन आपने
All your time we are here on a serious discussion.
Assalamualaikum sir, Professor Seema from GDC Parade. Since sir, you have visited my college, sir, we have some medicinal plants.
No, I didn't know. No decision, man.
Sir,
Strategy.
but
You tell me what you are expecting from this program.
yes, sir, I want to share with all of you here that my students, they are there, they come from far-flung areas of Canada. That is Bengali, Sangal, Uttarvedi, and they are very, they are into farming with their parents. And there are certain songs, like like Keshpata, like
No, don't describe it. Don't describe it.
but I think
Don't describe what you are doing. You describe the strategy, how you want to make this strategy roll out. You don't know who stops you doing it. Who stops you doing it?
मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि तुमको जो अपनी बात कैसे पूछेगी
You have to devise another. This is yeah, they only come in volunteer organization helping out. They are not obligatory from them. You started. Who stops you doing it? Start doing it. Their jnana is available only to handhold and voluntarily, not obligatory. So you do it. तो देख पता हुआ या कुछ और हुआ, you do it.
लेकिन जब बच्चे जो हैं वो बड़े
You just start doing it. Don't ask from us. Innovation is start from yourself. You start from yourself and come to us. This is not a routine type of rollout. It has to come from within. I am repeating it. You have to be changed. Not anybody else. Jnana is only to feel this innovation spirit. Right? No, as for Jnana to anything. I'm only asking them how you want to roll out your energies. You start doing it, no, I don't stop you from doing it. You have to have it.
लेकिन उसको देने दो।
जी
नहीं मैं
One by one, we want to listen to you people because they have to take a decision time.
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
just
Actually, yeah. If you go through this schedule, like GDC buys Kutwa, then participating colleges will be all degree colleges of Kutwa and Samba districts.
This covers other colleges, but don't leave it to Gyan. I am again telling you people, don't leave it to Gyan. Gyan is only to just kindle the movement. Don't throw your responsibility on the shoulder of Gyan. They have come with a mission to help us out, but we have to help our own selves. God helps those who help themselves. The old ways have been taught to us from our parents to teach us from our family. Keep on teaching our children. This is what you help yourself. Jnana is only to support your initiative. This is not to do everything of their own. Anything else you want to be verified and you want to be indulgent, you want financial support, that is there. That is there to support any financial support. You devise a detail, you devise what you require, you just get the details from Jnana, what type of financial support you require, prototype estimate is required, get it framed, go to the director, it should be done. That is the director's job, director policy in us. Many other principles, I want people to come forward, remove their doubts, clearances. Because this is a new chapter we open for today. Let people share ideas, cool ideas. The link only writing course. Everybody sitting here, yeah. So Kirtis and this people like Da, Rizvi and other people there, they will be our supporters in our endeavor. Don't throw your ball and responsibility on others, then this is not going to happen. It's not a curriculum devised by Krishna University, Jammu University, and you are implementing it. It's not curriculum. Udhampur GCW. Okay.
We can inform students from classrooms and then we can have a photo type of thing before so that our students know before that what they will do here if not the concept of so that the students know what they are going to do, what is expected.
Yeah, that is the thing
If
I
not,
want
we also
to.
will be doing within these certain days and do that. And once that module is done, the students are almost ready in their mind what is going to happen here. So it will be done.
I would suggest you that we have some grassroots programs, 5, 6 of them sitting gathering. to many others. You can get a list of those people who will
And
be around.
we
You can
some
just
type of
you can interact with them in
yes.
case they have time, they can be motivated.
They can be
But it's not that. It is open.
Yes.
It is open. It only is restricted to the principal. How the principal wants to progress. Take it further. That is up to them. They have time for it. I'm saying that yes, we should have time, but see time to time. Or you have to see time for quickly for somebody quickly helping us in our goals realized and go out. I went for some there are shapes of problems that are killing you. That's what they I'm not saying myself. I'm not saying that policy decision. Driving force is directed for it. You just keep going on the policy. He can arrange some resource. Or great college is taken into that great college is center of
What I want is once my students go to the GCW, they should first know the thing. They should have a
prior notion.
Yeah. What is going to happen there?
They
And
should
how
be knowing the thing that day. He
सर
You have to start the process from today itself.
सर मैं इसमें एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा जो हमने ये के साथ शेड्यूल शेयर किया है ये हब एंड स्पूक मॉडल के तहत लिया है जितने भी हमारे हब्स कॉलेजेस हैं आज ही हम एक गूगल फॉर्म जो हमने डिवाइस किया हुआ है वो शेयर हो जाएगा जिसमें ये फील्ड्स कवर है कि जो हमारे
Don't give the impression that you are driving.
Okay.
In case you are giving the impression that you are driving it, then the issue is today only.
Okay, sir.
It has to be driven by the individual children. Each child has to drive it. Each faculty has to drive it. And principal is the facilitator, the pivot against which everything rotates. We rotate against that pivot, and the faculty and the student rotate against that pivot. That pivot is very important. That's why we have asked every principal to join today's session. I have given a personal message on the group.
Yes, sir.
This is why I want people, principal especially, to take a look. It's not a curriculum-driven program. It's a initiative from the various stakeholders. It cannot be a regular enrolled student in your college. It can be any mystery working in the Udaipur workshop. Any mystery on the roadside is a very innovative person. I've seen them working in Udaipur. Very innovative person. Let the mystery be the driving force. I don't mind. There can be many other people like our Vanji who have invented the solo factory. Who factory is solo factory? Who factory बना दी उन्होंने? He can make jams. He can make extracts of rose water, extracts of perfumes in the single machine. तो किसी single machine factory नहीं चल रही. थोड़ा सा factory है. Factory तो पूरा सा चल रहा है. It's a very personal type of thing. कुछ ऐसे लोग होंगे हमारे community में. सबसे हमें को find out करना है. They can be great motivators. Then comes the real setup of incubation. Then we can ask PDI people to help us in the incubation for a refined manner. Then even graduating beyond that, we have the Ramanathan ji. Ramanathan ji is providing 10 crore rupees to one incubation center through Niti Aayog. 10 crore is sufficient amount for an incubation center to be established. But we are not asking you to do 10 crore tomorrow. Let you start from grassroots. Grassroots will graduate to the EDI. EDI will then take you to the incubation center of Ramanathan ji. That's how we are actually planning. Abhijit will be on line at 2 o'clock. We'll be listening on discussion. He will tell you how the MHRD and how Ministry of Education, how they are planning to do the thinking, how they want to do the innovation labs, how they want to do the incubation part. But I warn my central team, and Mr. Sanjay, they should not take on. They are the innovators. They are only facilitators.
Yes, sir.
And they should not be doing all its own. Their job is today, their job over. Today,
Yes, sir.
they have done their job best. From today onward, they will be having less load. This should have no load.
Yes, yes, sir.
Then only things will be moving. Otherwise, if they keep on going, then Sanjeev will be transferred. Who will be dying?
Yeah.
Right? Sanjeev will not drive it. Let the people who are in the high at one chair or another chair should be keeping on driving it. I'm expecting this to go from Sanjeev. Sanjeev happens to be a college principal. She should be the greatest innovator. I want her to lead, and she should be exemplary college. I would like Sunil to see it exemplary college. I would like people to see it exemplary college. I would like to see the Sahara Board is a college. I'm expecting science students to do the meeting. Social engineering can happen in subsequent time. Like Mr. Omkar was saying, humanism, social engineering, that also very important. But maybe we have more time to look for such type of change. But science doesn't have to wait. Technology is there, artificial is there, data science is there, nanoparticles are there. So these all things are already there. Chemistry people should be. Chemistry patent is very easy to solve. On X-ray machine, I believe I X-ray machine can do any extraction of molecule can be patented. So chemistry is easy. Engineering, these are the main concepts should be taken that further. They can understand the process happening around. Consumer costs. As Raman was saying, we are having 1.3 cities road. उससे ये डेढ़ करोड़ lot of market, lot of consumers coming in. Lot of agriculture is getting produced. Shallow, shallow बनाया किसी ने, shallow बनाया किसी ने. One is this all. We can help us out. I want principals to also help. To allow them play. But on that globally, no extra staff to teach you. I want you to teach the staff. Extra teaching. Any person, new college, old college, innovation doesn't mean this. Doesn't mean local. It doesn't mean strictly followed. But institution should be the area and platform for creating the innovations. हम प्लेटफॉर्म दे सकते हैं, माइंड दे सकते हैं, बात कर सकते हैं, बट कर नहीं सकते इनोवेशन. हम कोई अस्पताल बना सकते हैं, वो तो चार नहीं कर सकते हैं, चार बोलना हम उसमें चार बात सकते हैं. But I can't make it eat. We have to have the faculty all the students. All the person who is coming along. Right. This is how I say today's session. It's not an ordinary session. It's a very different type of session. Everybody is equally responsible. I'm only coordinator. Equally responsible as you are. Equally responsible to the faculty who are listening this time on video stream. Every student is actually a part of the college. As I am. I'm only sitting at a desk. Sitting at a different desk. This is always we have. This is the statement policy I am going on to this. And we expect that Mr. Jerry will be there. He has still 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes में I want 4 people to try. Right. जब तक बच्चों को बताओ नहीं कैसे क्लियर होती है एक अगर डिस्कवरी चल रहा था what and how is made how it is made चल रहा था डिस्कवरी आप वही चलो स्टार्ट करो innovation how what and why तीन बड़े गोल डेवलपमेंट होने चाहिए how what and why के बारे में जानना शुरू कर दोगे या how is made डिस्कवरी चल रहा था वो लोग हमने में it will definitely be high effect. तो आपको ये उससे लग छोटी इनिशिएटिव की बात है ये इनिशिएटिव स्टार्ट एनीथिंग it not rise आपके everything राशि को मान लो राशि नहीं हाली है ना राशि से जो है उसके बाद आप छोड़ दो फैकल्टी को करा दीजिए ओके Anybody else? I wish we could speak. Yeah, if there are people क्या बोल रहे हो? अरे आइडिया बोलो मत चुरा ले जाएगा ये आइडिया आप खास नहीं होती है आइडिया नहीं चुरा ले किसी का होगा किसी का मैनेज कर लेंगे और एक बार मैं किसी का होगा किसी का होगा हमारे और किसी का प्राइमरी होगा बच्चों को तो हम पे करके करना इनोवेशन तो हमने उनसे आइडियाज हम ही लेंगे इनके आगे से क्या हेल्प कर देगा बच्चों को किसी ना किसी तरीके से इनोवेशन तो हम मेहमान आए हैं आइडियाज हम भी लेना चाहोगे हमारे साथ तो यू आर फ्री टू एसोसिएट योरसेल्फ वेरी इन कॉलेज 2 कॉलेज 3 कॉलेज जाते हैं Onga, I wish you to join hands with our principals to get the things rolled out. And we have to do all. रात लो दूरी फाइनल कॉलेज दे भाई आप देखो तो पे आपको अच्छा लगता है आप बेटा अभी करो देखते चलो क्या है अब आप हमारे होना चाहिए
सर इसमें हमने वो प्रोविजन रखा है कि वो भी जब हमारे सेशंस होंगे वी विल इनवाइट ऑल ग्रासरूट इनोवेटर्स टू इन एवरी कॉलेज ओके थैंक यू वेरी मच
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. Before going for lunch break, we have our first technical session, this orientation workshop. The first speaker of this session is Dr. Abhay Jere, CIO MHRD Innovation Cell. Before I invite him, I take this opportunity to introduce you all with this eminent personality. MHRD established an innovation cell at All India Council for Technical Education in 2018 with an aim to systematically foster a culture of innovation in all higher education institutions across the country. It is roped in as the first CIO of MHRD. He is working tirelessly to make innovation the epicenter of India's education system by fostering entrepreneurship in students through initiatives like hackathon, collaboration with other countries, and an innovation-focused MBA program. In 2013, he organized massive innovation which saw a turnout of 1.5 lakh people. In 2014, he helped identify innovations for CII's India Innovation Initiative, and in 2015, he organized Go Idea, an innovation competition involving educational institutions from across India. In a bid to create a model for harnessing the innovative and creativity of youngsters, he has conceptualized national innovation and startup policy for faculty and students in 2019. I would like to invite Dr. Abhay to begin with his motivational lecture through virtual mode. Over to you, sir.
Madam, too much of disturbance and background noise. If people can go on mute, then it will be easy. Huge echo. Okay, good. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, good. So first, I would really like to thank Government of Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Gujarat Grassroots Innovation Augmentation Network, GYAN, for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity actually to share with you what we are doing as part of innovation, entrepreneurship, promotion within our educational institutions. For J&K, this is a very, very unique opportunity. We certainly believe that there are large number of innovators, potential entrepreneurs who could be systematically taken forward. And I believe that this 3-month program will be of immense help in identifying the talent in this region, nurturing that talent, and converting the great ideas into sustainable businesses in due course of time. Dear friends, we really need to aggressively work on promoting IP from this country. The current IP generation from this country is not very high. I will share with you some global statistics or data of 2 or 3 countries against which we are competing. On an annual basis, China is filing about 15 lakh patents. China is filing about 15 lakh patents. From US, you get about 6.5 lakh, 7 lakh patents. But when it comes to India, the number of patents which get filed on annual basis are somewhere between 45,000 to 50,000. On top of it, more than 60 to 65% are by NRIs, non-residential Indians. It means that majority of our educational institutions are not working in that direction. And we can safely say that about 80 to 85% of our institutions have never filed a patent. They don't have an ecosystem to take the ideas logically forward. It's not that we are dumb. ऐसा नहीं है ना कि सिर्फ आइडियाज चाइना के लोगों को आते हैं या यूएस में ही लोगों को आते हैं. We also get great ideas. But the problem which we are facing is that we don't have the ecosystem in majority of our educational institutes to take ideas logically forward and owe them up. Even when people file for patents, for them, commercialization of those patents or taking those patents logically forward is not the priority. Many of them try to put it to enhance their CV. But we at Ministry of Education now started believing that there cannot be a better person, better individual than a faculty, than a student who can perceive or pursue, sorry, not perceive, pursue Lakshmi and Saraswati simultaneously. Many times in this country, if you are a faculty, if you are a prof, if you are a student, you are expected to only focus on academics. That is, pursue Saraswati. But we believe there cannot be better people than you who can create wealth for this country, because you will come up with ideas, groundbreaking ideas, which could be converted into ventures. And these ventures can eventually create wealth for this country. Because if we are aiming for $5 trillion economy, then the wealth creation has to happen. And our educational institutes need to emerge as islands of innovation, which are competing aggressively. Currently, what is happening? Students, faculties are very grade focused, are very marks focused. They are not very idea focused. They are not very IP generation focused. But we need to change that culture. Currently, what has happened because of this last 70 years of our educational policy, we have got into swallow and vomit kind of a system, where we only focus on marks, grades. We don't focus on thinking out of box. Professor Anil Gupta is doing some fantastic work, and he is part of GYAN. So I know I actually started my journey by going with him on a Shodh Yatra. And eventually, I got passionate about this field. But as I was saying, we need to change the culture in our educational institutes. And for that, we are doing multiple initiatives as Ministry of Education. We recently brought the National Innovation and Startup Policy for faculties and students. Because what we realized after talking to some faculty members, to some students, that the environment, the policies, the nature of structure which is out there is not conducive for entrepreneurship. I will give you examples. I will not take any names. But when I spoke to few faculties from some prestigious institutions, now they have changed those rules, but at that time when we were talking, some institutions asked for revenue sharing as high as 50%, 60%. अगर faculty बाहर से through consultancy, through his entrepreneurship, अगर 100 रुपया कमाएगा, उसमें से 50 या 60 रुपया इंस्टीट्यूट निकाल लेगा, 30% इनकम टैक्स निकाल लेगा, तो फिर बचता क्या है? What is the motivation? We felt this needs to change. And that was one of the motivating factors. Then I spoke to one student, means we spoke to a large number of students, but I will give you one example, which really made me think that how we can promote innovation if we are not solving these problems. From a very, very prestigious institute. So what he did, that student, he started a small venture in his hostel. So he created a platform and he was doing some business on top of that platform. And he started making some small amount of money. Very small. But when director came to know about this, he called that student and said, where is institute share in your revenue? The student said, why I should give share to institute? The director said, because the IP of what you are doing belongs to the institute, because you have used institute's infrastructure. Students said, no, I have not used any of the facilities. I have not used any of the laboratories or anything to build my venture. The director said, no, you're wrong. You are using hostel's internet. And as you're using hostel's internet, you're using institute's facility. And because of that, the IP belongs to us. And you have to give us revenue share. This is terrible. This needs to change. This will be a huge discouragement for a large number of students who wants to pursue entrepreneurship. So we said, we will get into the bottom of this. And internally, we had a big committee. Professor Ashok Junjunwala was chairing that committee. I was convener. I was actually managing things. And we got the policy for faculties and students, which is, we can safely say it's an innovator biased policy, which is now endorsed by AICT, which has been endorsed by UGC. And we are going from colleges to colleges, universities to universities, telling them that they should look at this policy framework and design their policy in letter and spirit if possible. Because we want to ensure that if a student, if a youngster has great idea, then we should do every possible effort to give him all the required support to take that idea forward. And if we can do that, we will be able to create the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, which we are all aiming for. We have made multiple recommendations in that policy. Is that student can incubate his company, even in the incubator which is floated by other institutions, if the host institution is not ready to offer the required support. Before, what used to happen, if I am a student of a particular college, and if my college has incubator, even for namesake, I had to incubate the company in that incubator, whether the college gives me any facilities or not. And on top of it, the college used to ask for equity sharing through their Section 8 company owner, which could be as high as 30%, 40%, 50%, without actually giving any support. We said we will change this. And we have capped it. And the college or the institute which can ask for maximum equity is 9.75%. And that too, if they are actually investing financially into that company. Otherwise, if they are just giving support, it's 3%, not more than that. Because we have to ensure that the innovator gets motivated to take ideas forward. I will request you all to look very critically into that policy. I can go for about more half an hour just of talking about that policy, but I will not do that. But what, as Ministry of Education, as I said, we are working on right kind of policies. Then we are working with institutions to handhold them. Because what we realized after talking to large number of vice chancellors, directors, deans, is that it's very fashionable to talk about innovation. It's talk about entrepreneurship. It's talk about promoting startups. So when people get onto forum, they talk. But if you ask them in private that how you are going to do it or what you have done about it, many of them falter because they don't know how to go about it. Very well-meaning people, all of them are very well-meaning people, really nice people, want to do something in their campus during their tenure, but it is not their fault. Many of these vice chancellors or leaders come from very different background. from sociology, psychology, basic sciences. And suddenly when they become directors or deans or vice chancellors, they are told that now promote innovation and entrepreneurship. And they suddenly don't know how to go about it. So they start talking to people, they start talking, they know the importance. So we said, we will come up with a scheme which we are calling it IICs, Institutional Innovation Councils. It's a virtual council. It's a virtual council. We are not making any investments, but we have established these councils in 2,000 institutions now. And on 15 days to a monthly basis, we are guiding them on what they should do. And we actually give them an event to do. Do this event, and if you do prescribe, if you follow the prescriptions which we are giving, the innovation ecosystem will get stabilized in your organization. We started with something very, very simple because we want to keep processes very simple. That in first month, we tell them that why don't you do a one-day workshop on IPR for involving 50% of your faculty and 50% of your students. Simple. And we give them topics which they need to cover. It's a sensitization towards. They submit the photographs. We ask for photographs and so on and so forth. We don't take write-ups and huge reports. Nobody has time. So just share 2 or 3 photographs of the and list names of speakers and all those basic details which you can fill in 5 to 10 minutes. Then in next month, we ask them to do one-day workshop on design thinking and critical thinking. How to visualize a problem. Very, very important. If you know how to visualize a problem, then you will certainly able to come up with a solution, or you will able to visualize a solution. So design thinking, critical thinking is extremely critical. So we tell them, sensitize your again 50% faculty, 50% of your students on design thinking, critical thinking. Okay. Again, then once these 2 basic workshops are done and we are familiar with how the things are going, we tell the students and faculty, go to any of the 4 places for 2 days. If possible, 2 days, at least 1 day. A medical hospital, a big medical hospital, maybe 300-bed hospital, or an agriculture university, or a food processing unit, or a power plant, and sit there for a day or 2 and just observe the problems. Just list out the problems which you see there. List out the problems. Then come back to the institute, prioritize of those problems. Next month, go ahead and do an idea competition on those problem statements. Select good ideas. Then, once you have idea, you have to convert that idea into a prototype. And at that time, we were trying to get, to be very honest, we are not very successful in that. I will be very honest with you here. But what we wanted to do was create something like an IPL, where everyone pitches why he should be part of the team, which works on converting the idea into prototype, what he brings to the table. Once that is done, we actually get into, as a central body, we get into action. We ask for submission of top 3 or 4 ideas which have come out of this process. Last year, for the first year, we received about 1,600 such ideas, and including prototypes. Then this year, we have got about 2,200. And now, when we screened and screened and screened, I will tell you, we found only 41 ideas which were really worth funding. So this is the actual innovation quotient. This is the state. But yes, things have started improving substantially. And just because of IIC, in last 2 years, you will be surprised to know. In last 2 years, you will be really, really surprised to know that in India, we had more than 26,000 initiatives related to innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup, which are done by our IICs. And we have a record for everything. Each and every program along with photographs. 26,000. Involving more than 28 lakh faculties and students. This is not a unique number, 28 lakhs, which I am telling you. It's not because one student, one faculty could be involved in 5 programs, 10 programs. So it is getting counted. We currently don't have mechanism to actually, but the scale, you will realize the scale of what I'm talking about, that we could achieve. Then we are creating global platforms or national platforms for ideas like Smart India Hackathon, Grand Challenges. Smart India Hackathon has now become world's biggest hackathon, world's biggest open innovation model. We have participation from more than 2,000 institutes simultaneously. Few lakh students join. Few hundreds of industries join. Few thousands of professionals join on a single platform. And it has started actually the revolution. I'm very proud of Smart India Hackathon because when we started Smart India Hackathon, no one was aware of the word hackathon within government systems. But now, every government department, every city has started doing hackathon. We have created that culture of hackathon in this country, and Smart India Hackathon is primarily responsible for it. It has started the culture. It's a very big achievement. Then we are also working on outcomes, measuring the outcomes. I'm not talking about output, I'm talking about outcome. Through Atal Innovation Ranking, where for the first time, we came up with a framework to rank educational institutes on their innovation index. We are asking questions like, how many startups are you incubating? How many of your faculties are on board of startups? What are their DIN numbers? If whether the startup is registered, yes, what are the SIN number? Then what is the funding mechanism? How much college has generated funding from outside sources, from internal sources? What kind of programs you have conducted to promote faculty for innovation and entrepreneurship? And so on and so forth. Even IITs didn't have that information when we first started. They struggled to get that information because nobody asked them that kind of information. So last 2 years, we have started with this ARIA ranking. I will request you all to join this ARIA ranking because currently ARIA ranking is open for 2021. Start collecting the data because when you will start looking at it, the people in your institute will start thinking in that direction. That is very, very important. So that as a nation, we will able to create the repository. No one knows that how many institutes in this country or how many students in this institute in our country are working in area of agriculture. How many startups are there which are students incubated by students and faculties in area of healthcare? Nobody has that data. So we are trying to simulate or collect all that data through our Yukti initiative. Because when we meet investors कहते हैं दिखाओ ना हमको projects कहाँ है? I am interested in healthcare. Can you show me 20 projects, really good projects, which are in area of healthcare, which we can fund? And we start scrambling here and there. We don't have that data many times, which is really worth showcaseable, not ताली बजाने के लिए, जिसके लिए investor मिल सकता है. यानी TRL level, technology readiness level 5, 6 and above. That is very, very critical. So these things need to be done and we are doing it. And I believe that workshops like these, trainings like these are going to be of immense benefit in promoting the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship within our organizations. क्योंकि ideas कौन मारता है? Many times parents at home or teachers at school or colleges. बच्चा यहाँ की बातें करने लगा आउट ऑफ बॉक्स कि पेरेंट्स हो या टीचर बोलते हैं इधर उधर की बातें मत कर, चल पढ़ाई पे ध्यान दे, तेरे ग्रेड्स क्या आ रहे हैं, तेरे मार्क्स क्या आ रहे हैं, वो देख, and that idea gets killed. Unfortunately, that's the case, and we really need to change that. I will tell you, we started, before I conclude in next 1 or 2 minutes, we started with MBA program in innovation, entrepreneurship and venture development. It's a very unique program. We are calling it as MBA program, but it is an incubator-based program. And the reason we started was to tackle this mindset. Because when we spoke to large number of youngsters, they said, sir, we want to do entrepreneurship. We have good idea, we want to take it forward. But our parents are not allowing. Our partners, our girlfriends, boyfriends, spouses are not allowing. The reason is they feel that we should take up a cozy job in some multinational, make more money, rather than going through this rigmarole of setting up our own startup. It's not an easy journey. So we said we will do something about it. And we came up with this program. We are doing pilots. Last year we did it in 4 institutions. Now we are starting it in 15 institutions. It's an incubator-based program, as I said, only 30% classroom. And what we are trying to do, we are telling students you can take admissions in groups. So you can tell the world, or your parents can tell the world, that my son is doing MBA or my daughter is doing MBA. But under garb of that MBA, you are actually pursuing your entrepreneurship. So for 2 years, you will get all the required facilities, mentorship to take your venture forward. If you are successful, you emerge as an entrepreneur with an MBA degree. If you fail, then you emerge as entrepreneur, which many of the industries really want. So we said that, and we are getting some good traction for this program. Because of this COVID crisis, currently there is some problems, as you all know, every institution is going through that. Same thing is happening for this program also. But for the first year, we really got great traction. And we are continuously improvising on it. So, to conclude, I would like to just say here that the work Gyan is doing is really phenomenal. And the kind of workshops which you are actually organizing, fantastic. It's a fantastic initiative. I had multiple meetings with Talat Parvez, and he is really passionate about promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. I really applaud him because he came to us multiple times. He's calling, he's bugging my people. Believe me, I'm not just saying for heck of it. I genuinely, sincerely mean it. He's very passionate about it. And sir, let's work together in creating more incubators, incubation ecosystems in J&K, which will give you an opportunity to out-of-box thinker in that region to pursue on their ideas and create wealth, not only for J&K, but also for India. So thank you very much.
everything and for taking words. And I remember the time I visited your office, the office was kindly speaking from. I remember the doors and windows of your office. And it is only COVID who stopped us, and that small virus stopped our initiatives with getting laid as a ground. But we never lost touch. And we will be constantly in touch with all the people who would be stakeholders in our endeavor. And whatever you were saying, and it is really a motivational type of workshop and hackathon. I can say idea hackathon. We want the principles of JNK, and I, on behalf of the principles of JNK, give you promise that all the five things you have spoken about, whether be it a national innovation and enterprise policy getting implemented, or really doing the IP, whatever the multiple innovation interventions you have been listing in your policy, or setting up an institutional innovation council, which they will be working very soon, and within 1 month's time, we should be setting up the council. Will be sending an official mailing address and other members on the council to you soon, and also seek your guidance while training these councils. Mostly, those all activities you have suggested, holding out those seminars for IPR, design thinking, and prototyping, sensitizing faculty, and also I have noted other things you have suggested for visiting the places for work culture providers and idea competition, IPL like things happening. I'm very fond of the competition done on this platform and prototyping and whatever you have been doing. And also be participant in our Smart India hackathon like events will be happening more to such events. And in the UK will be also organize such hackathon, and we can see your results that way also and see what things should be rolling out. And most important, outcome based measuring. And as you have informed us today, and I'm more educated and more knowledge has come to us today, that we have now available the portal where we can have ranking of the institution. I would impress upon my students to register for this. Maybe we are the last, maybe we are the last of the ranking, but I want to be there. I want to be there in the ranking, but so that we improve from the last to the top 10 or 10, 20 in the future 3 or 4 years to come. And we should be at par seeing many universities of NIS ranking. Already Kashmir University takes a lead on being the top 50 universities of NIS ranking. But I want them to see also on the Urban Innovation ranking as well. And investor policy, we have, luckily, we have in PNP recently launched the investor policy in all sectors. And those sectors which are demanding innovation have been the priority sector for investment. And we have a single line. In case we need to rise to the occasion, we still are waiting. We are having focus area for inviting investors to investor summits. We have a lot of PMDP friends coming for innovation, lot of companies motivated to come to PNP to help us out in the job creation, and that atmosphere will again help us in getting people like I am having 4 or 5 innovators grassroots, and some of them have reached to the NASA level of networking of our initiative. We will provide more opportunity for people like them so that they joining hands and many other students will be inspired from the such workshop we are conducting. I must inform you, you told about MBA with entrepreneurship incubation center. In NIT Srinagar, this program has already launched this year, and my daughter is one of the members there. She has taken this course. And it is happening, and they are really doing classes, but they need your support. I think you need to talk to Director NIT Srinagar. He has taken this leap forward, but nobody in the field and faculties understand what this has having outcome. I risked the post-edition option of my daughter. I do go ahead with this program. This is the future of the program to come, but only if you are registered. Maybe your interaction with director IT will help us getting more. And I promise you that whatever the things you have said today, this implemented in Proto, and we will be often requiring you to mentor the child again for job creation, for and doing out of box thinking for wealth creation. And we have been interacting with principals. Till now, we have invested well in creating knowledge, or we have been investing well in disseminating knowledge. Now let us apply our knowledge to create the wealth. This is the mantra of innovation. Let us see how it goes, and I wish your blessings and blessing of Mr. Ramanathan and Anilji and people like you will be helping us in treading the path in a very rightful manner. We would most of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your enriching experience with all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, now I cordially invite you all for the lunch, but please restrict your time to 30 minutes as we'll be having the next technical session speaker here with us. So we'll join at 3. Thank you.
We can't invite you for lunch, but your lunch is enough on a Kaza. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.